So we're welcoming on Trail Chat today Ryan Sands, who doesn't need a whole lot of introduction, a global Salomon athlete born and bred Cape Town, who's taken the South African trail running message and community and vibe throughout the world. Still very loyal to the trails of the Cape. We're chatting to Ryan in recovery phase. He went and did what everyone said was impossible and broke his own kind of barriers on 13 peaks, which is it's 101-ish kilometers, or just over 100 kilometers, 6,203 meters of vertical gain, according to your specific watch kind of Strava stats. And you did it in 13 hours and 41 minutes, which is ridiculous, but also fantastic and very inspiring. How are you feeling, Ryan?
Yeah, thanks very much. Great to be chatting. Obviously my legs are a little bit tired, but I think it was really nice just to get out and get out for a long run. The Cape Mountains, obviously, where kind of my running career started, or kind of where I've grown up. So it's always really special for me to get out into the mountains. And I think like 13 peaks is always like nice to try and push yourself and see how fast you can go. But I think for me, I did like a similar run last year, or like at a similar time, did 13 peaks. It's always just nice just to, I guess, just have a super long day out in the mountains, and also just kind of reflect. I guess it's been a pretty crazy year for everyone. So I find for me getting out in the mountains is the way I kind of get to process everything.
Some at-home challenges that kept us entertained as well, and a lot of us were running weird circles and laps and staircases. The longest run you did in your Notuk home, how long was that?
Yeah, that was stupidly 100 miles. Definitely not one of the smartest things I've done, but I think, like, I don't know if I'd want to go and do it again, but I was glad I did it. I think for me it was like just I guess the ultimate mental challenge. To be honest, I thought I'd be able to get it done a lot quicker. Probably actually underestimated like how much vert was in the route, and also just being slow going, just running. I think it was between 105 to 110 meter laps. It was amazing to have my family, like wife and Max, my son, and T-Dog right there, but also kind of broke up the rhythm the whole time. You're kind of constantly running past your bedroom, and your kind of aid station is your dining room table, so you're constantly stopping there. But I guess it kind of came about. The idea was a bit of an April Fool's joke, and then a lot of people thought I was being serious, and then it got me thinking. Like I think it was just after April Fool's Day, or kind of 1st April, Cyril announced, our president Cyril announced that we were going into a second lockdown. So I was like, flip, there's not going to be any running for a while. So, and I also really didn't enjoy running around in circles. I'm not one who does that, or I don't enjoy running on a track. So I thought, at least if I just do one proper run, I'll have an excuse not to do anything for a couple of days later. So I decided stupidly to do the 100 miles. I just thought, like, mentally it would be the ultimate challenge. I think I did a I Run Far virtual race a week before, and I got to about 11, 12K, and I was like, geez, I can't do this anymore. It's just too mind numbing. So I think it was just cool to have that challenge, but also I guess adventure is what you make of something, or like you can create any adventure you want. And I guess I managed to create like an adventure right at home. And I guess kind of it's cool to be able to, I guess, say run 100 miles at home.
Absolutely crazy. Do you walk up the stairs with a new kind of respect, knowing what they put you through?
Yeah, I did actually try and avoid, especially a couple of days after the run. I definitely looked at my stairs in a different manner, and even actually really battled with dizziness for about a week or two after the run. I think going around in circles, and then also our stairs are like a white cement, and then when I had my headlamp on, going from like kind of every 50 meters I'd go into the dark, and then 50 meters time go back into the light. And like for the last 20 or 30 Ks, my eyes were completely got really sore, and I got quite just disorientated. So yeah, as I say, like I definitely kind of look at my stairs in a different way.
I guess in the weirdest time of our lives, we've all experienced some sort of strangeness to our routines, and with having to stay home, not get into offices, meetings have become odd, communication, connectivity. How's your family coped? I mean, you've had the added pressure of a little toddler cooped up, which is not easy. Older kids are certainly, they're missing out on a lot of school, but it's easier to keep them occupied. How's little Max handled?
Yeah, shame. I think it's been really tough on him. Like a few weeks before lockdown, he had just kind of started a new school, so he was just settling into routine, and then obviously that all changing. But yeah, I guess like it's been like really tough for everyone, and I think we're still like experiencing some really challenging times. But I do try and look at the positives, and I think kind of selfishly I got to spend like an awesome amount of quality time with them. Even I guess at times it is tough, as you say, keeping a toddler entertained 24/7. But yeah, I guess if I was doing more traveling and stuff, I maybe would have missed out on a lot more quality time with them. So that was cool to kind of spend some time bonding. But yeah, I guess it has been tough, and a lot of like, I guess, readjustments. I think, yeah, it's obviously tough for Vanessa too, being a mom. I think obviously Max is probably more dependent on her. So yeah, that's been difficult. We also like started homeschooling, with trying to get a toddler to do homeschooling. It was well, it was nice for him to like break up the day, but it's quite hard to get a toddler to look at a computer screen, even if it is only for like 15-20 minutes in the morning, and then kind of 20-30 minutes like late morning story time. It's just, yeah, it's kind of different. And as I say, I guess we're living in some crazy times. Things are changing, like you mentioned, like meetings are happening, I guess, on Zoom, and yeah, I guess that the world is moving like forward in a different way. And I guess, as I said, there are like some really positive outcomes, but it's also, yeah, it's tough. Like you kind of lost that community. Where I know when it comes to trail running stuff like Tuesday trails and all the other like trail communities, it's really hard for people to connect. There are no races, there are no events. So yeah, I think it is a really like difficult time for people.
One of the, yeah, you're correct. I mean, I'm really missing. I race socially, not competitively, but I really miss the early morning vibe of pinning on numbers and getting into a car with a group of friends, lining up somewhere, particularly now when the trails are so beautiful. So what, and obviously it's hit our industry hard. This whole pandemic has hit different industries at different points, but sports marketing, sports eventing is just a really precarious place for our careers right now. Race organizers are asking runners and community to support them in some virtual racing, which brings in a little bit of revenue and also helps us feel motivated and a little more connected. There's a leaderboard, and we get to refer to our kind of personal, most of us are just racing ourselves, so we get to go out there and try and improve our times. So Hout Bay Trail Challenge is one of the races which has put on a virtual version, and it's been broken up into 4 legs that can be run anytime in August. So very manageable and very accessible to most levels of runners. Ryan, you know the course well. According to my records, you last won it individually in 2009. And you've packed in plenty before that and plenty since that. And your mate Kane Riley's had a go of, I think, 5 consecutive wins on the course. What do you think has kept Hout Bay Trail Challenge relevant and kept it such a popular event on our very, very competitive trail calendar in South Africa?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, Hout Bay Trail Challenge is a very special race for me, to be honest. I think it was actually the first trail race I had heard of. I think kind of like my introduction to trail running was by people training for Hout Trail Challenge. I think after I ran my first race, the Knysna Marathon, like way back, and I joined Hout Harriers. It was Knysna Marathon was in July, and I think everyone was training for Hout Trail Challenge at the same time. So yeah, it was my first like kind of introduction to trail running and trail races. So it's always held a really special place for me in my heart, and living in Hout Bay. Yeah, it's super special. But I think it's such an iconic race. It was one of the first trail races. Just got an amazing atmosphere and vibe. I think it's been great that it's always kept its kind of core feel. And yeah, I guess kind of the sport's progressed like big time in the last 10, 15 years, but Hout Bay has kept that kind of special uniqueness to it, and I think that's what like everyone loves about it. The course is extremely challenging. I think kind of kilometer for kilometer, you definitely get your kind of your kind of money's worth, or I guess it's not the right word, but it's a challenge. The trails are technical. There's a lot of climbing in it, and it's a real big challenge to finish it. So yeah, I think that's what makes the event so special, and it's great to see like the guys continuing and putting on a virtual race. I know kind of a lot of people like maybe haven't quite got into the virtual racing, or not got into, but like a lot of people maybe have like kind of had enough of virtual racing. But I think it's a really great way, as you mentioned, to still get people together. You still feel like you're doing something. I mentioned that first virtual race I did, the Iron Far virtual race way back at the start of lockdown. Like when I first heard about it, I was like, how random is this? And the lucky 11Ks weren't great, but it did actually, like, I don't know, like I did feel like really good about myself the rest of the day. Like I feel like I'd like ticked off a goal, I'd achieved something. And I think that's what's cool about at the virtual race. And I think that the Hout Trail Challenge virtual race is awesome, that you can get out on the routes and still challenge yourself. And I even like with that, like I think there's a big difference between running a virtual race, like doing laps at home, but like the Hout Bay virtual race is great that you get out on the course, and you can basically kind of run the race at your own time, just not on the day of the race with everyone, or you can run it on the day, but not with everyone else. So I think it's really cool. I think I really encourage people to embrace that, and just make the most of the situation.
Is there any point of the race, any part of the race? I know you know that route inside out, having lived that side for many years of your life. Is there a particular stretch of the route that is close to your heart that you particularly fond of?
Yeah, I really kind of that stretch, or just thinking of the race. I always really enjoy the Kabonkelberg stretch on top, when kind of sunrise, early morning is always really special and really pretty. I remember like some of my early days of racing, kind of had a bit of a mental block against Llandudno corner, or kind of that I always found like really challenging. So I guess that's always like a hard part that comes to mind. And then I guess just kind of linking everything up, the third leg always does become quite challenging, kind of going through Flackenberg. But lots of special memories. I kind of grew up kind of right next to Hout Bay dunes, so it's always nice to run through there. Brings a lot of family memories and stuff like that. So I think it's an awesome course, and like what I said, I think it's a challenge, but it's achievable for everyone if you put your mind to it. And I think that's what's great, and also kind of breaking it up into 4 legs is really cool, and it just makes it kind of more attainable and achievable for everyone. And I'm hoping the one good thing about post lockdown is just seeing kind of so much more people in the mountains, and hopefully some of those people that potentially haven't done a trail race before, I really encourage you to get out there and just give one leg a go, or just try and get up to the top of the first peak and see how it goes. I think that's how we all got into trail running, kind of deciding to try and get to a peak, and kind of found out that we actually really enjoyed this and kept going. So I'm hoping it'll be a gateway for a lot more people to get into the sport.
Definitely. I don't know if you've seen the same on your side, but I feel like a lot of the homeschooling has been taken to the mountains. We've been running a lot of Newlands, Constantia Neck side, and without school sport and without the normal kind of rugby competition league, I just see so many teenage kids, guys and girls, out there hiking and running. And I'm really hoping that that's a new wave of interest in trail running across South Africa. It's just brilliant to see youngsters out there in safe and managed groups, or even with their families, lacing up trail shoes and getting out. And as you say, hopefully we keep them. Hopefully they become part of that growing, mushrooming trail community. Ryan, just to bring it back to 13 Peaks, which was your brainchild and your baby, and you've obviously really enjoyed seeing communities take on the race. You brought it around before we knew that we wouldn't have official events, which was timeless in the sense that it's been able to give people like yourself and some other very competitive runners an option to get out and run something really long and really challenging in a sort of race format. Do you see your record being broken anytime soon by any of the fellow Cape Trail runners? Do you know of anyone planning to take that number down?
I haven't heard of anyone challenging it at the moment, but I definitely still think there's room for improvements in the time, and I think that's what's exciting about it. And also, I think it's a lot of there's a lot of planning and preparation that goes into it, and like kind of selecting what the kind of route suits you best as a runner. So I haven't heard of anyone giving it a bash or trying to better the time, but I'm sure there will be, and I hope there will be. I think it's like after running it two days ago, it's really got me thinking like kind of what areas can I improve and where can I kind of sharpen up on things. So I think it's really exciting. But I think for me the most exciting thing is actually just kind of seeing communities get out into the mountains and seeing people hike the routes, and kind of people that I think when there've been a couple of stories where someone's joined just for the first peak, and then they kind of got into the whole thing, and before they knew it, they finished it. So again, I think it's cool if you break it down into the various peaks. It is manageable, and it's an amazing way to see Cape Town and just to get out there and enjoy yourself.
We're incredibly blessed to be playing in the kind of playground that we're in. And hopefully we're going to get back to a point soon where we can welcome international runners back to the trails. I know we all love traveling and seeing trails elsewhere, but I think we are equally, if not more, excited to show off our local trails. Any last words of wisdom for anyone who's feeling a bit disconnected, unmotivated, feeling like this whole thing's kind of sucked the life out of their running enthusiasm? Any words of wisdom from someone you've embraced it all throughout your career? You've done injury, you've done illness, you've done massive highs, massive lows, you've clocked top spot at many races, you've had heartbreaking DNFs, you've really felt it all from an emotional roller coaster. Is there any words of wisdom from Uncle Ryan for the trail community?
Yeah, I think try and focus on the positives. I know it is difficult, but also I guess just kind of I've tried to set myself some mini goals along the way. I know maybe a lot of people be upset because they didn't get to run Hout Bay, the kind of real Hout Bay Trail Challenge this year, or kind of another race is not happening, and you kind of get despondent and think like, why must I train? But I think it's important just to kind of remember why we run, and just enjoy being out in the mountains, and maybe kind of enjoy this time to kind of maybe take the family out on the trails, or kind of join some friends maybe that you wouldn't normally go into the mountains with. And yeah, also kind of embrace the events that are out there at the moment, like the Hout Bay Trail Challenge virtual event and all the other events. Like I say, maybe it doesn't feel like the real thing, but I think you'll be quite surprised when you actually kind of enter, or you set yourself a little goal. Like, it feels pretty damn good to kind of go and tick that box, and to actually kind of like go and finish the Hout Bay Trail Challenge virtual race. It might not quite be the same as running across the finish line, but you'll be surprised. It does come pretty close, and I think kind of like you'll realize that kind of we run to be in the mountains and kind of experience that. And by running something like the Hout Bay kind of virtual trail race, or kind of any of the other virtual races, we are still lucky enough to get out into the mountains. So yeah, try stay positive, and we'll get through this just one step at a time.
Thank you so much for your time and for your wisdom. Lots of love to Vanessa and to Max and to T-Dog. I hope you all stay well, and thanks for inspiring us with your crazy antics in massive lockdown and now on 13 peaks. Certainly is a bit of a kick to any of us who've been feeling a little reluctant. Maybe we need to get out there and go for it as well. Thanks again, Ryan. Keep well.
Yeah, thanks so much. Great chatting.
See you out there soon.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.